Is rolling hills make sushi make friends worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 193 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and decide, and we play a random game on Xbox Game Pass. Let me do that over. And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, is it worth making sushi and making friends?
Only if the hills are rolling.
Fair enough. Rolling Hills Make Sushi Make Friends is developed by Catch Release LLC. And this game came out in June of 2024. That was just a worldwide release on every platform that they were available on. So I play this on the PC. 2.79 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
Larger on the Series S, which I think is traditionally the case.
Yeah.
3.22 gigabytes.
Okay, all right, not bad. It's not a exorbitant. Like there was that one game we played recently where it was like,
yeah, where there's double. No,
yeah.
not quite that here.
Like that.
The gigabytes, or I don't know, fish bites. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, how about we get to what you got going for what kind of game this is, Tom?
I put casual restaurant simulation.
Yeah, I put third person cozy restaurant simulator.
Yes. Now, when I put casual restaurant simulation, is it a casual restaurant simulation or is it a casual restaurant simulation?
Oh.
I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll figure it out through the game loop.
Yeah. Yes, we will. Let's talk about that, Tom. I put down make money to upgrade your restaurant to make more money to get more stuff to make more money.
I mean, that's usually how running a restaurant goes, Chris. I will give you that.
Yeah.
I put serve sushi to customers to gain XP to turn a sleepy town into a real destination.
Ooh, look at that. That almost sounds like the little blurb on the box right there.
Well, yeah, maybe I have a future writing copy for games or something.
There you go. Anyone listening from the development teams or whatnot, throw it your way to Tom.
Yeah.
All right. But now let's talk about what we liked about this game, Tom. What was good about it?
I liked from the very beginning, just like the last game we played.
Yeah.
This was developed by a two-brother team, and they say thank you for playing their game. But they're very, appreciative.
Yeah, I didn't realize until you just talked about that. Yeah, both games that we just talked about are developed by two people. That's impressive. And this game looks really impressive for two people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a great looking game. It's got an adorable art style, like chibi or I don't know what's the other like big headed kind of characters.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, yeah. It's got like a 3D animal. Well, I mean, I know Animal Crossing's 3D, but a little bit more fleshed out, like the Precious Moments kind of kids or whatever.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like but it's a very adorable art style in that sense. And
it's bright, it's colorful,
very colorful. And yeah, like you said, it's very cozy or casual, but it's like a warm hug in terms of like how everything was. Like the music is very kind of upbeat. Yeah, I think they hit the nail on the head if that's what they wanted to go for. So
I think the game is easy to pick up and play. So I think that's important, right? For something that looks like this and feels like this, like if the mechanics were like, oh my God, they're so hard, like there would be a cognitive dissonance there.
Right.
It recaps the mechanics as you need them, which I appreciate. Okay, this is where this is going to come in and this is how,
I agree. And I also just liked how you have a little task list too. Keeps you on task. And it's just very easy to grab from the user interface. And yeah, like because it is kind of open world-ish because you have your restaurant that you're running on a day-to-day basis. And then you have things that you need to do to help improve. Like you were talking about, like, how do you improve your restaurant? How do you get more customers? How do you get people attracted to this restaurant or to this town is by leveling up your restaurant. Yeah. So, like you said, you grab new items from the market. You can buy things from the furniture store, or I guess it's like a thrift store. I don't know if it is like that, but and to spruce up what you have at the restaurant. All those things have different perks and abilities. So yeah, like, so you upgrade not only your restaurant or your level in the restaurant, you upgrade your food, like the sushi.
Yep.
And then like the little tchotchkes and stuff like that you throw around the restaurant allows you to gain little perks, like, extra money, or allow people to stay longer, or be a bit more patient while you're serving stuff. Because the actual game loop, like the primary thing that you do while you're serving in the restaurant, almost like a burger time or something like that. Where you're just, picking up stuff off the conveyor belt and dropping it to people. Like, they'll have specific orders and stuff like that. So it was kind of old school feeling, but nice as well.
Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of Moonlighter, where you run the item shop. But the difference there with Moonlighter is like you had to set the prices and trying to find the sweet spot and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not really the case here. No. What you're doing is, like you said, serving the right kind of dish. So the customer kind of raises their hand and says, give me something savory. And you go, okay. And you go grab that and then drop that off at their table. And you're picking from I think it's 5 dishes that are available to you at a given time.
Right.
So you kind of want to maximize that before you hit the reset button and get 5 new plates. So you want to try to dish out as many as you can. And then it's like, okay, well, none of these work now. I have to reset and then dish out the next set. I agree with you on there's a surprising level of depth to the mechanics in terms of you're spending resources to upgrade these dishes. Yeah. And that will in turn make things easier, faster, more lucrative. The next time you run the restaurant, you are in control of when you start your restaurant day. So you can go out into town and, do all your upgrades and kind of get yourself set, and then go, okay, start the day. And then you do, this sushi dishing out, waiting tables for a certain amount of time. Then the day is over, and then rinse, repeat. You make money, get experience, rinse, repeat. Out in the town, I appreciated that it gives you kind of a little glow path to show you where to go, because you do have kind of these meta objectives in terms of making the town better.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, where do I go to upgrade the furniture? And if you have that quest active, it'll give you kind of like a little glowy light path to say, okay, head off to the right side of the screen and follow this kind of path. And it'll bring you to the lady who runs the shop, who will sell you, the new tables or the gumball machine or whatever.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't realize that there was that little glowing path till maybe halfway through my playthrough. It
is very subtle. It's not like a big glowy beam of light, go left.
Right.
But that would kind of counteract the style of the game, wouldn't it?
True. It would. But it's but because everything is so bright and colorful, it just kind of bleeds into the scene. So it's but I guess in a way it's like to your point, it's subtle enough that maybe you want to just go out there and see what's going on in the town, because you could talk to pretty much everyone there.
Yep.
And that's another actually thing that you do in town. There's a coffee shop where you go and try to build relationships with people in town. And when you build relationships with them, that allows you to get certain perks with them. So they'll give you more rare items or stuff like that. So it's there's a lot of management, which I guess to your point, as someone who's a restaurateur, you would need to do that. You need to curry favor with the folks in your town to just help you out in some way. So
you need to be in a good shape, good relationship with your customers, but you also need to be in good shape relationship with your vendors.
Right? Exactly.
Who is producing the food that you're using to make your sushi?
Absolutely.
Who is building the furniture that'll get you the nice tables and stuff. So.
Yeah. And also I thought even during the restaurant section of the game, there was a good ramp up of difficulty. Because the very first few times you're just kind of picking up, there's maybe 1 or 2 customers that show up.
Yeah.
And then it's okay, now we're adding more customers. And now on top of that, you have to make sure that the tables are clean. Then you have to make sure the tables are clean. And you need to make sure your customers are not falling asleep, which we'll talk about in our dislikes a little bit. I thought that was weird, but yeah, that was but again, it was a nice increase of pace, I thought.
Yeah. And you don't start out with 14 different kinds of dishes.
Right.
It's like you only know how to make 2 dishes.
Yes.
And then once you figure it out, it's like, okay, well, now you can make 3 different kinds of dishes. And now you have the customers are coming a little bit faster. And now there are 4 kinds of dishes.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it was ramped out pretty well. I also put here I could save and quit whenever I wanted.
I was going to say, I wonder if Tom was going to put that.
I love when they respect my time.
Yeah.
I want to be able to save and quit when I want to be able to save and quit.
Right. Agreed. And I was initially, because I didn't check the menus for that particular option, I was like, oh no, because after you finish a restaurant day or evening, it will automatically save. But then I was like, oh no, is this the only time that you save? And no, thankfully that's not the case. So good on these 2 brothers for doing that. They must have heard you, Tom. They must have heard you and be like,
yeah, they know.
Sure. I like also the fact that you're kind of cleaning up the town. You really are trying to be a part of this town.
Yeah.
You're a robot also.
We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah, you are a one-wheeled robot that's just like has this ambition to become like a really good sushi restaurateur. So that was kind of cool. And like, yeah, cleaning up the town as you walk around, explore the town, you can find random pieces of random cans that you can go and collect. And then you get money from that. And then there's just sometimes just little presents that are like on the floor with like $100 in it or 100 G as they have it here. And it's like, cool. All right. Well, that's nice. Good to know.
Making money.
Yeah. Making money any way you can. Yeah. So let's get to our dislikes then, Tom.
Yeah. I guess it shouldn't be too surprising being a small team, but there's no voice acting here. And there is a deluge of text at the beginning of this. And I do feel that it is kind of a big info dump and it could have been saved for later or doled out at a better pace.
Right.
A game like this, like get me to the mechanics quickly. I don't need to know all this backstory to do a quick restaurant thing. Or if you're going to do that, like have me run a level of the restaurant first and then do the thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can see that.
Because maybe if it was voice acted, I wouldn't have noticed so much. But it was like, I am reading a lot of stuff before I'm playing this game.
Yeah. I agree. There's definitely a lot of reading. I wish there was like maybe an option to do fast forward the text or something like that. But yeah, you had to like constantly click through each section of the conversation, and it did get a little tiresome for sure. I was just like, dang, they are really putting the hope of this town on me, a robot making a sushi restaurant. Like that's all they got.
And it's a bait and switch, right? Like the poor little sushi robot is like, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to be in somewhere really important and I'm going to make a big splash and it's going to be really relevant. And then it's like, oh, you're deposited in this tiny little sleepy town where there's no reason to be here. Yeah. Like, and
well, I guess it's the mayor
or something is like, oh yeah, well, we kind of catfished you and surprise, the town actually isn't a cool place. But if you're successful, then we'll be successful. Right. So be successful.
Right. No pressure. Even though this is a very casual game, no pressure. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I also thought I was just not making enough money. I just constantly, especially like when you're going to the market, buying new items to then upgrade your dishes. That was fine. I thought that was okay in terms of costs. But it was when I went to the furniture store and the coffee shop. That was a ridiculous amount of money. I was like, what the heck? How am I supposed to make this? And then I got to a point where there's a quest where you need to like set up the Wi-Fi in town.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I just need $500. I'm like, I don't have $500. This is going to take forever because I'm constantly trying to upgrade my stuff. But it's like, it's ridiculous. I don't know what. So that was just like a very disappointing, I'll say, like, because I was like, oh man, I'm just never going to reach this because I have to. Maybe that's that's the reality of owning a restaurant, dude. It's like,
I think it's like one of those good bad things. Like in a lot of games where you have to manage resources, you have a lot of resources to manage.
Yes,
but here you really don't. No. It's really just currency, gold, and that's it. And you need that for everything. And so you have multiple things calling for your money at any given point in time. And you have to kind of prioritize, where am I going to put this?
Yeah.
So it's not like they give you experience and then you choose where to spend the experience. It's like, no, you have money and you use the money to upgrade the dish, or you use the money to upgrade the town, or you use the money to buy another table for your restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, what should I prioritize?
Yeah. Yeah. It can be a little overwhelming with the choices there. So that's just how it is, I guess. And I don't get why Ren, the furniture store person, is so rude. She's just like all the time. I was like, what the heck? I'm just a happy robot. I'm trying to make this town better, and you're just being a sourpuss the entire time.
They don't like the robots taking their jobs.
But she didn't want to make a sushi restaurant. She just wanted to have this repurposed furniture store or something like that.
And like, who are you going to sell to if not me? Seems like a whole lot of nobody.
Right, exactly. So
I don't see any other customers in there buying other things.
No, it's just you. So be nice.
Just a sushi robot here to buy stuff for the house. For
exactly. The customer is always right. And she just doesn't follow that mantra.
Guess not.
Unfortunately.
I do have a couple of other little nitpicky, beefy things. Most of the quests are fetch quests. Mm-hmm. So you'll find yourself running around town. Go talk to this person. Now you've talked to that person. Okay, now go over and talk to this person.
Yeah.
So it is a little tedious in that it's just go over here and talk to them. Now go over here and talk to them. Now go over here and talk to them. The pace of the game I found pretty slow.
Yeah.
Like I wanted the game to pick up speed. I'm like, can we get this moving along? Not just with the text at the beginning, but just kind of the game in general.
Right.
There's no way to mess with the difficulty. So you can't make the game harder. And therefore, like if I could ramp up the number of customers that were coming in, I would make money faster, which would make, right? Like there's,
my mind went to like, there's a mob boss. It's like starting like, hey, it's time to pay up for your protection. It's like, wait, what? Like, I'm a robot, man.
I mean, maybe that happens.
Maybe it does. I don't know.
Another thing taking money out of your pocket.
Yes. Oh man. The other thing I thought was a little frustrating was the fact that I'm a robot on this one wheel and I was getting constantly hit with the invisible wall when you're running around the open world. And it's like, it seems like there's stuff that I could just kind of traverse, like just, slowly bump down. And it was like, nope, I have to go all the way back to the path and walk around and all that stuff. So that was a little frustrating. But I mean, the town is small enough that you can just navigate fairly quickly, but
it's not that serious. But
or like a boost, give him a little boost every once in a while. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I was accidentally picking up the wrong plate a lot.
Yeah.
So you have the conveyor belt with the 5 items on it, and I would think that I'm picking up the one that's kind of to my right, but I'd pick the one that was right in front of me, or off to the left. And so, thankfully, you just kind of press a button and you can swap it. It's not that big a deal. It is forgiving.
Yes.
But it I guess, for whatever reason, didn't quite feel like it was doing what I wanted it to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You get the hang of it eventually. And you realize you don't always have to be kind of right on top of them or right at the table to drop things off.
Yeah.
And so that helps too. But
I don't know if the game allows you to actually expand your sushi restaurant also, because it's like a fairly small restaurant, but you're throwing, eventually you're going to get new tables and stuff like that. So I'm like, where do you put all these things? Because you need to, you've got the little things to help boost your restaurant in certain ways. And so I'm like, okay, I don't know how this works.
Yeah, maybe. I was nervous when I was placing the gumball machine. Like, are the customers going to need to interact with this? Right. If I put it in the wrong place, am I going to keep running into it? Like, And so I placed it right by the door in this kind of way that a restaurateur might.
Yeah.
So that I wasn't keep running into it, and on the off chance that customers needed to interact with it, they could and not disrupt me serving.
Yeah.
But no, it just sits there and generates money. So like nobody needs to go and touch it.
Yeah.
So as long as you do put it in a corner somewhere where you're not going to bump into it, it works.
Yeah. I had picked the TV and I put it all the way in the far back corner just because I was like, okay, that definitely needs to be moved eventually or something like that. So I don't know. I also thought it was kind of weird that you have to wake people up in your restaurant. Like, what the heck is that?
Yeah. Honk, honk.
Yeah, like are we not entertained by my delicious sushi that you're going to fall asleep here? That's very rude. Get out. I wish I could just throw them out of the restaurant instead of waking them up.
Yeah, no sleep at the tables.
Yeah, no sleep.
I've got paying customers to feed.
Yeah, exactly. The one other thing I wanted to quickly point out was there is only a controller option in this game. There on the PC. You cannot use mouse and keyboard for this. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they forced that on you, which I think is fine. The game controls well on the controller. If it was a problem with the controller scheme, then I'd have
clearly designed for a controller, and I guess there you go.
All right, cool. Any other things you wanted to bring up here, Tom?
I think I'm ready to move on if you want.
All right, then let's get to our other thoughts here. How Long to Beat says this game is 9 hours to complete the campaign. Yeah. xCloud capable and cloud saves as well, so you can play this remotely on your favorite remote device that has Xbox Game Pass on it. And so there's that. What you got here, Tom?
So the first thing I wrote is that Catch and Release LLC is a small developer comprised of two brothers, right? Mm-hmm. Their other titles are Cold Iron, which is a VR like Western duels.
Oh.
So again, kind of a weird, different sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they did another game called Star Billions, which is for iOS, and it's like a sci-fi story game.
Oh, wow.
So they're a little bit all over the place, which is interesting, cool, but not a whole lot of information on them. So the game website that they have is just links and a quick FAQ for this game, Rolling Hills. So there's not a whole lot of insight into the game development available online. I tried looking all over the place to see if I could get more, but I really couldn't find anything. But it only just now dawns on me as we're recording this episode that they've called themselves Catch and Release, which is a fishing term.
Yeah.
And it's a sushi game.
Yeah.
I wonder...
They're not releasing any of those fish that they catch.
And if they've named themselves Catch and Release and they've made those other games first, were they always planning to make a sushi game, a fishing game? Or weird, right?
Yeah, that is interesting. It's like, was it Kismet? I don't know.
Yeah, like it may be because neither Western duels in VR nor this sci-fi, visual novel type game have anything to do with fishing. I don't think.
No. Well, we haven't played them, but yeah, maybe there's a mini fishing game that they throw into every game.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we need to know what we are doing with this game on our respective hard drives, Tom. Are we keeping this or are we closing up shop and leaving town?
Well, I was kind of at mixed feelings about this. So I really do like the aesthetic. The game is pretty relaxing to play. It's not unlike, the last game we played. This is a game that you can kind of play a little mindlessly.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I don't know if I'll feel compelled to pick it back up and continue playing because the plot is kind of threadbare. I found the Case of the Golden Idol a lot more engaging. So while this is much easier to pick up and play, and if you only have a short amount of time, you can save whenever you want and you don't have to really put a whole lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to put a whole lot of thought into it. It wasn't the kind of thing where I was like, after an hour, like, yeah, I really love this game and I really want to see how it ends. Like, I could take it or leave it. I could catch it or release it, I suppose.
Catch and definitely releasing this game. Okay, fair enough. For me, it was definitely, like you said, it was an adorable time. I think this is a great game for parents to play with their kids. It's because it's just very, very wholesome and there is a little bit of tension when you're doing the restaurant portion of the game. And hey, you might maybe even learn a little bit about economy, restaurant economy and stuff like that. So yeah. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to pass on this game because my kids are too old and they're too busy on Fortnite and I'm not going to play this game with them. But there just wasn't much for me to keep playing this game. But hey, if you've got young kids, maybe it's worth your time to try it out with them. But those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter. Follow us and say hello on Twitter or Threads at TC1H1D. Shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Or, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, send us a comment down below. Maybe the game gets more stressful and maybe there are mob bosses that come knocking at your door. I'd like to know. 1H1D is part of the QTV network, and if you like any great gaming content, check it all out at quitthebuild.com/network.
Excellent.
So, what is also excellent is we need to find out what we're playing next. Tom.
Yes. So what will we catch?
What will we catch and possibly release with the surprising button? Here we go. Okay. Atlas Fallen, Rain of Sand.
There's a lot of words. I have no idea what this game is.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a word hodgepodge there. And yeah, that's our next episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into this one, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.